Greetings, YouTube. I remember the last outbreak of swine flu back in 1976. I can remember being in line in school and getting the shot, the vaccine, in my arm. They used one of those pneumatic guns to do it because they were doing lots and lots of people. At that time, one person in the U.S. died from the virus, but 30 people died from the vaccine because they acquired a brain disorder because the vaccine hadn't been designed properly, and this disorder killed them. So if there had been no vaccine, there's a possibility that fewer people would have died. According to the Center for Disease Control, on average, 36,000 Americans die each year from complications to the standard strain of influenza. The one that you can get a vaccination against every year, and they encourage you in the fall to get one. As a diabetic, my doctor pretty much makes me get one, which I don't enjoy, because it really drives that needle in deep. But the reality is that a standard influenza strain is dangerous. It kills people. The new swine flu epidemic that's supposed to be sweeping the world has so far cost Americans one life, and we've seen very few confirmed cases. In my state of New Hampshire, we've had 3. They're isolated, they're being treated, they're doing fine. They're going to recover. But the media is playing this up like it's a plague of biblical proportions, if you don't mind me using the phrase. Like frogs are going to start falling from the sky any minute. And the reality is that the hype is much more dangerous to people than the actual disease. Because the amount of stress that people are being put under is much more likely to make them sick and reduce their life expectancy than this disease itself. We're going to be okay. This is not going to wipe out humanity. It's going to be sucky. People are going to get ill. A few more might die in the U.S., of course. But statistically, fewer seem to be at risk because we are aware of it and people are taking it seriously than they are with the ordinary everyday flu virus, which people just seem to ignore and shrug off as being unimportant, when they should be paying attention to it and they should be making sure they don't go to work when they're sick and they wash their hands regularly. If they did that all the time during the flu season, fewer people would die. Lots fewer people would die. But the media loves playing up this kind of situation. You know, as they say, if it bleeds, it leads. If it causes panic, it's going to be there on the news. They're going to tantalize you with clues and hints that the latest news item they have to reveal to you is going to save your life. Which it probably isn't, because your life was never really at risk to begin with. The human species is never going to be wiped out with a disease. There isn't any way to design a disease that's going to be that dangerous. Even weaponized anthrax or smallpox doesn't function well in daylight. So you have to spread it at night. It doesn't last long much after the sun comes up, and the number of people who will be affected will be horrible, but again, it's not going to spread like wildfire across the globe and kill us all. Then there's the fact that some people are going to be immune to pretty much any disease that we throw out there. The species is not going to be killed by this. We are much more likely to harm the planet enough through our negligence with pollution and greenhouse gases, and that might well turn things against us. The planet itself, of course, will just keep right on rolling nicely without us. But don't panic about the swine flu. If you're sick, stay home. If you're nervous about being in public, put a mask on. Wash your hands after shaking people's hands or being in contact with somebody, and you're going to be alright. Pay attention to the elderly and the young, who are the 2 biggest groups who are at risk here, and we'll be okay. Don't let the media scare you. It drives up their ratings and gets you to watch their commercials, but it's not healthy for you.